Hello, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to the continuation of our new player guide series in part 31 today, where last week we looked at an operation, and today that is the same case. We are going to be playing a new operation. I have not played it all yet, Killer Whale. This operation is new to me as a player, but it's been around in World of Warships for quite some time, and starting this on my EU account. So, Killer Whale is a fairly straightforward operation. I've seen some teams derp this really hard, and I even have a video on that, on how to derp Killer Whale, what not to do basically. But today I'm hoping to show you what is the remedy for success. So, Killer Whale, Reconnaissance reports that the enemy's major forces have left the naval base. Now is a good time for a swift raid and massive destruction. There are only a few ships left to defend the base, with some of them under repair. Operation goal: destroy the enemy base and retreat in the direction designated by reconnaissance. Team members, tier 6. And we'll get rewards too. This op, it tends to be one in which you can typically get 4-star, depending on the team. And if we 4-star, at least we get a 10-point German commander. So I'd be very anxious to grab him. So we're going to just hop right into it with real reliable Farragut here. Let's see. I need to throw some things on. How far away are we from getting to the Mahan? Actually, we're super close, but the problem for us is always credits. So I'm not actually too worried. We'll just go ahead and take that. We got enough of them. And you do not detonate. Can't detonate in ops. Yeah, sure. Let's just increase our fire chances. I feel like it. And I'm not going to take any economic signals because we'll get what we need from this battle. All right, so let's go ahead and just dive on in. So in this, I'll be giving you kind of a breakdown of what to expect. There's 2 designated areas. Well, there's one designated area you retreat to, but there's 2 possible options for you as a player to go to. One is in the northeast, and the other is in the southwest quadrant of the map. So, fairly cruiser heavy. 2 Trentos, 2 Nürnbergs, a Repulse, and a Ranger. We have a division with us, so that should hopefully improve our chances for pulling this off well. Yeah, we'll start in the middle. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go straight through in here. There's these turrets, no, better call them, out here on the islands. Let's hear what the commander has to say for this operation as the match starts.
Good luck and fair seas. Much obliged. Attack the enemy naval base from the specified directions.
Okay, is he done talking? Yeah. So as a destroyer, you're going to have a hard time penetrating these forts. I'm not even going to bother. Could probably actually set them on fire, to be honest. One thing you have to keep in mind is even if you're in range, you can see I don't have the gun elevation of the main battery hit these. But we have this one here. One thing you have to be mindful of as your cruiser coming in, or even battleship, you don't want to take too much damage from these forts because it's unnecessary. If your caliber is too small to deal any damage on these forts, like that was an AP salvo, typically what can happen is once you get a little bit closer to the fort, then you'll be able to do some damage. So you can see we're not doing any damage with the destroyer. Even Leander, the tier 6 British cruiser, struggles to do damage. So now that we're getting a little bit closer, we're actually beginning to get results. So once you close the distance, of course, you're able to do some more damage here. So that is the case here. So these 2 forts are done with. This one's a little bit harder because when we look on the map, there's kind of this high part in the island here that prevents you from hitting them unless you kind of go wide, like what these cruisers are. Typically, the safest way to enter into this harbor is through this entrance here. We're going to have a cruiser. The enemy cruiser is going to spawn once he gets spotted. You have a destroyer, a battleship down here that move this way. If you're not careful, this G101 can throw a lot of torps into you as you come into this narrow gap here. So you have to be mindful of that. So usually what I like to do. Usually I'm playing cruisers on this, so I just come down this way, and then once I break out into this area, I can fire down south on that G101, and then Nassau, I don't know that's how you actually pronounce that battleship, but it's a lower tiered one. You do have to be mindful of this fort here too, and then there's going to be, I think, 2 more. Well, there's actually 4 more forts in total. You see another one just lit there. We can go ahead and get closer. There's one here, and then we look on the mini-map, there's one here, and there's one up here. So, we're gonna go ahead and pop an engine boost. It's actually been a while since I played Destroyer on this mode. You know, Repulse is outrunning us for crying out loud, right? I'm playing it like a cruiser, I'm Destroyer. So what we're gonna do is we are going to move towards this part. So there's these onshore installations you have to knock out. And then there's going to be this Koenig battleship, and then there's another one. One of these 2 stays in port. It's like being repaired, and then another one's able to leave port and comes out to attack you. Then there's going to be a cruiser come out around here too. And then there's going to be a bunch of support ships that come. There's 2 or 3 that come this way, and then 2 or 3 that go this way. So basically, as the Destroyer, we're going to go ahead. We've got the speed. We're going to push in close and try to deal with those transport support ships. I don't remember what exactly they're called. But now you can see these factory, armor depot, fuel storage, all these lighting up. Maybe we'll do a little damage to this fort. And let's see. So there's a Kolberg, Koenig, King Albert. And yeah, support ships. So there's 5 support ships, I believe. Okay, so that guy is dead. We'll go ahead and throw some lead this way. Warehouse, you got 2 down here as well. So destroying the onshore installations is part of one of your secondary tasks. And destroy all the enemy ships at the base, so you don't want to leave any alive, which is actually pretty hard to do. One of the mistakes that, like, battleship players, let's say you're in New Mexico, you're West Virginia, you're a slow tier 6 battleship, what they'll do is they get really deep here into the base, as this guy's deciding to cut me off with torpedoes. Get too far into the base, because you have to either come out this way or this way. You do have to deal with some enemy ships out here. And they get too far into base, and they're not actually able to support the rest of the team when they come out here. So if I'm like West Virginia, New Mexico, I tend to hang around this area. I don't come too far deep into the base. I just want to make sure I'm explaining some things to you, just to help you along the way. Now, if I am an aircraft carrier player, after I've dealt with this cruiser, it's actually who I go for first, with my remaining flights or planes, I like to go ahead and fly into the port and go ahead and trigger the support ships to come out. When you trigger these support ships a little bit earlier, it prevents your team from going in so deep into the base where then they're like, oh gosh, now I gotta wait years for them to come back out. So I like to go ahead and kill one of these support ships and trigger that when I'm a carrier player. I'm kind of playing nonchalant here too, if I'm being honest. It would have been nice, actually. I probably what I should have done, I should have come over here and torpedoed these support ships. Probably would have even gotten closer to deal with the battleship, because I'm trying to be mindful of where his guns are pointing. It looks like he's more focused on the ships behind him. Fingers crossed. So we're going to go ahead and turn out the way. There we go. Right. Up. And look at what I just did. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. Alright, so we're going to deal with these onshore installations. It doesn't take very much to delete them, especially if you are a cruiser player. We could also focus on this guy. So we're going to use the engine boost. We're going to get back out
Engine
to the
boost
main area.
activated.
Now, what's interesting is what our Nuremberg has done. He stayed outside, which actually isn't a bad play. There are definitely some very, I don't know how to phrase this, very structured, strategized ways that you can play this map, especially in cruisers. With the cruisers in this app, you get the most damage per minute, and you're able to do most damage compared to battleships, aircraft carriers, or destroyers. I would prefer taking a cruiser in this app, but because I don't have a tier 6 cruiser yet, we're getting there, I'm just going to be taking the Farragut, because that's the only option we have. Now, as far as the very structured way, you can time out where all these ships are going to spawn. So our Ranger is actually in a really bad place right now. There's 2 ships that spawn here, and if you're a cruiser player, you can set yourself here and torpedo both of them,
Enemy reinforcement approaching.
which I think they spawned right now, maybe, I'm not sure. And then you got these guys, so I have a clanmate who'll sit out here, torpedo these guys as they spawn. You can torpedo these 2 ships as they spawn, move over here, and then you torpedo the next 2 ships that spawn. So it's a very, like, I don't know, almost robotic way of dealing with it. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like he's going to go up and deal with the threats, but I don't know how much I trust him to do it alone. So our designation point to go to is on F1. Other times it will be A8. When you are playing on this map, one of the things you have to be mindful of is, let's see, secondary task. I kind of got these in the way. Don't let enemy reinforcements enter the haven. So there's this line, I think it's the CD line. If someone knows and I'm saying this wrong, please correct me in the comments. But you don't want the enemy ships coming from the north to bypass this line. You don't want them to come into the harbor until you've dealt with them. So we're gonna move up here and help the Trento. I don't know if I trust him to do it alone. Our aircraft carrier player is nowhere to be found, question mark?
All stations.
So we're gonna call him out. So we're gonna get close. We're gonna do our best to prevent them from breaking through the point at which they're not supposed to. Our torpedoes, 88-second reload time. Okay, we got torpedo points up in the air now. Now it could be that battleship player, sometimes they go around up to this part of the island. So it looks like that might be the case. And there you can see one of the 2 forts there in the background. I guess I'm trying to be a little bit more of a tour guide in this operation for you than maybe what I'd normally do. Okay, so what is the time now? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over here. I think, because there should have been a battleship player too. He might be, or bot, he might have come down around this way.
All stations
We'll
retreat.
see. If the designation point was up here, actually it wouldn't bothered me to go up this way. So the reason why I ended up going this way is I thought the battleship would be coming too and it could torpedo him, because if the Trento fails, then they'll cross the point.
Enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
Okay, there he is. But so many ships have to be at the exit point when the time approaches, which we still have plenty of time right now. So I guess I should have just gone north. Let's see, I think you need destroy the enemy first and second reinforcement groups who've done 2 of 4 thus far. Withdraw at least to the designated area with at least half of the operational ships. So you need half of the team in that designation point or to trigger, which is the primary task. So you won't complete the operation until that happens. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to go north, and then we're going to cruise down around to the south. I think at this point. Because our team has the greater area out here, so I'm not too concerned. And what we are going to do, though, so it has been told that if you use the lock-on on bots with your torpedoes, they know that the torpedoes are coming. Something with the bot programming, I don't know. So you should not lock onto the bots with your torpedo armaments. That's why I turned it off. Or unlocked from him like that. So now what we can do at this point, we are a smoke destroyer for crying out loud. Oh, did that just miss? Or did it actually just burn out right at the end? I feel like I'm playing this very poorly. I usually always play cruisers on this and battleships. I think we can get them with guns without having to dump. What is our smoke firing penalty? He is burning. 2.8. Yeah. Okay. So let's get rid of this fort. Now, you can see one of the secondary tasks is to destroy battleships Fury and Dano, which the other one should be out here. So that's an important task. But our team doesn't seem to be too interested in the designation point yet.
Reconnaissance reporting. Confirmed enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
I'm trying to remember if the forts, destroying the forts is like, you have to do it kind of thing. Because I can't go too much farther outside this range, because then I'm not going to be doing any damage. I'd rather not be up here, but I just didn't want them to break through this line. I wasn't sure if I could trust this Trento player or not.
Engine boost activated.
Alright, so we got 6 minutes. We're going to book it down south. And then
All forces,
let's just
attack the
call it out.
onshore installation.
What I prefer as a destroyer player is to be out here fighting because of the enemy destroyers and cruisers. So I don't really like to be back here, especially when there's another cruiser, but sometimes a cruiser player can kind of botch it up. So we're going to ping the map on the CV because he kind of needs to be heading down there. If by the time the op hits 0 and not half the team is in here, then that is not good. So right now we have half our team here and the other half of us are up here. It's Karlsruhe we can deal with too. Probably should have pinged the map earlier. Okay, he is moving, but it's probably autopilot. And autopilot is terrible. How much broadside on this Karlsruhe are we going to get? So we could switch to the armor piercing. So we'll do more op videos in the future. I intend to feature some more on not a part of the new player guide series that are not necessarily introductory, but showing you what I do and how I play them. And getting some fun damage. It's kind of limited to the ships since I only have one ship available on this op. Okay, so the secondary task of not letting them enter the haven is still up. And we just lost it. And we only have 4 minutes. Well, ain't that something. Alright. Yes, I fired torpedoes locked on that time. I don't know if this Nuremberg is AFK or what. It is amazing to me sometimes how the simple task of getting half your team in the designated area that's like lit on the map, you know, a long time ago is at times very hard for your teammates to understand. Okay, his engine's knocked out right now.
Critical engine damage.
Thank you. We do need to live.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir. Smoke generator started.
Truth be told, Can't really risk getting slapped again. Okay. I don't know what to do to get our team to pay attention. Ping the map. And no more engine boost. So basically at this point, one of our teammates needs to die. If I can make it to the designated area. Yay! Okay, now I just need to make it to the designated points in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, and you can see our CV never made it far. That's the thing of autopilot. Don't rely on autopilot, kids, if you're a CV player. This is bad news. And I'm not firing right now because I'm low on health. The Königsberg will likely focus fire on me. And then there's should be another couple enemy ships spawning here. 1 or 2. I don't remember. I mean, 85,000 damage is still alright. I've gotten more in destroyers before. If I had, I'm trying to think. I mean, I played Farragut on this. The Agla is actually pretty good for this op, in my opinion. Let's just make sure. Does it intervene? So I'm not using much of the rudder shift either. I don't want to bleed speed. And he's gonna light me too. So we're gonna have to deal with that. But we are booking it to the line. Because as soon as we enter, the operation should be complete. Whether our torpedoes look good. If our torpedoes look good, I might slow down before stepping on. Or we could finish them off with guns. Well, there we go. We're destroyer. We got 1 torpedo hit finally. We are a destroyer for crying out loud. Alright. This is probably cutting it a little close. 45 seconds left on the clock. Brigade leaving us a nice smoke screen. So, in this type of situation, if, let's say, only 2 of 3 players are down here and you're just way far off to the north, just go ahead and commit suicide, like ram an enemy ship or something, so then your team can at least complete the primary objective. So, yeah. So there we go. So we got our C star. So complete the operation and all secondary tasks, survive the battle, and cause damage exceeding or equal to 100% of your ship's health pool. And so we bumped our damage up from 85 to 96, so I'm glad to see that as well. So second on the team. Okay, I didn't feel like we were going to do that well. I thought it'd be like down here or something. So I am going to compliment the Repulse. And the Ranger did a good job. I'm not too much of a fan of these guys since they didn't go to the exfil point. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go see this new commander, which you should see get added here along with everything else. And then we'll wrap the video up. Restless Fire, got another day of premium, so we're up 3 days of premium now. We opened 2 containers that each gave us a day of premium. International Women's Day camouflage, always good to have. Makes your ship stand out. Okay, so we got the commander now for our German ships. So we'll switch, I don't know if actually, yeah, here we go. So I can click change commander, and there he is right there. So I can start using him on German ships, but I'm trying to not play so many lines right now. I'm trying to focus, I say I'm trying to. Been focusing on the American cruiser line, the US battleship line, and the US destroyer line, and I've been trying to also work with the British destroyer line as well. So, but yeah, so I think we're going to wrap that up. So that is Killer Whale in a nutshell for you. So recipe of success in kind of being more of a tour guide. Like I said, we'll do some more videos in the future that will highlight more gameplay and how to excel at the op and increasing your damage numbers and getting some more base experience, so on and so forth. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.